Hello, everybody. It's Paul and Olivia, and we are here to talk about the Oscars. They finally happened, and now we are in the movieless void called February. And now to see a decent movie, we have to drive all the way to Beloit. So we're heading down to the Beloit Film Festival, and we thought BIFF, Beloit International Film Festival, because they are international. I don't know. They get a Canadian movie or something?
I thought one of them said Australia, but...
That counts. So... What'd you think about the Oscars?
I mean, I thought Parasite was super deserving of everything it won.
Yeah,
That's my biggest takeaway.
I thought they were gonna... I don't know. I kind of thought 50-50 that they'd recognize it as the best movie, or they would be like, let's give it to a Hollywood movie. Yeah, I thought it was good. I liked, it started off with a musical number with Janelle Monáe. That was good.
That was awesome.
Then Chris Rock and Steve Martin came on, and they were funny. And, yeah, I don't know, like, the presentation crap was pretty good. And normally... I mean, it's usually pretty bad, so the bar is really low, right? But I didn't, they went hostless again, and it ended up being fine, I thought. Alright, yeah, let's go into the nominees. As we said before, Parasite won Best Picture, and you thought it was Best Picture?
Yes, I definitely do. And I am glad that we saw it in the movie theater because... I definitely am one to multitask at home if I'm watching something, so just not being on my phone or doing anything else during it was huge. Because I think if you even looked away for, a couple minutes here and there, you would be lost.
I could definitely see that. And I think that's probably... I don't think you'd be lost watching Roma if you looked away for a minute or two. But I think that's what hurt that, is that movie came out on Netflix, and it's subtitled, so you can't be, like, hanging out on your phone and then looking up every once in a while to read the subtitles. You gotta focus. Yeah. I know, I thought it was a pretty good Best Picture slate this year. Any ones that you didn't quite like?
Blanking on what some of them even are.
Okay, I'll go through really quick. Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one I didn't like.
Me too. It was just really long and kind of boring, and I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. It could have been half the length, and that would have still been a long movie.
Yeah. Jojo Rabbit.
That one was great.
Joker.
I enjoyed that one. It's hard to be like, yeah, that was awesome, but
yeah, I liked it. Little Women.
I really enjoyed that.
I did too, and I never read any of the books or anything.
Yeah, I'm always a little surprised when remakes of things get nominated for Best Picture. But
that's true.
It happened last year, though, too, with The Star is Born.
Yeah. With Lady Gaga. Marriage Story. Which I really liked.
I liked it, too.
I was surprised at the amount of people... I posted about it on Facebook, and there are a lot of people that hated this movie.
I don't know.
I don't blame them. The subject matter isn't very fun.
Right. But a lot of them, the subject matter isn't very fun. That's usually the type of movies that are Best Pictures. 1917
wasn't fun? World War I?
No.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? That was kind of fun.
That was kind of fun.
Parasite.
There were parts of it that were fun.
Yeah, I thought that movie was great. Delightful, sad, comical. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, actor in a leading role. Our boy Antonio Banderas, we didn't go see in Pain and Glory. Leonardo DiCaprio, Adam Driver, Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes, and Joaquin Phoenix wins for Joker.
I'm not at all surprised about that. Yeah, I think he did amazing, and it was a role where, I don't know, you could really win people over, I think.
Do you like his skinny man contortionist stuff he kept doing? He's like pushing his bones through his skin, looking all creepy.
It's true.
He did good. And he gave us an interesting speech about how we need to fight inequality. And everyone was kind of like, yeah, like for the women and the minorities, yeah. And the cows. And everyone was kind of like, where are you going with this one, Joaquin? When we take a baby calf from her mother? And I think everyone was kind of like, all right, Joaquin, we'll let you go. keep talking. Did you see there was like a big response from some dairy farmers in our home state of Wisconsin?
What did they say?
They said like it wasn't as bad as he was saying it, and then he said like we need to be more in touch with the natural world. And she was kind of like, if anyone's in touch with the natural world, it's dairy farmers and not Hollywood actors.
Very true. Very true.
But I think Joaquin, he's got a good heart. I really liked in the Golden Globes, everyone was clapping for him, and then he's like, and if we as movie stars could stop taking our planes to go on vacation all the time, and then like the music started playing. They're like, we don't want to hear that Joaquin. Alright, actress in a leading role. We have Cynthia Erivo as Harriet, Scarlett Johansson, Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan, Little Women, Charlize Theron, Bombshell, and our winner, Renee Zellweger as Judy.
Which we did not see.
Yeah, we didn't.
We even rented it once and then didn't get around to watching it.
Sorry, Renee, but I would see it.
I'm sure she did great.
Yeah, and
Obviously.
It was kind of a feel-good moment. They never gave Judy Garland an award, so now they gave it to her through Renee Zellweger. She had an interesting speech, too. She kind of had her speech, but then I feel like everyone had all these big messages, in their speech, so then she kept trying to add on to it, and she was just kind of like, and what else? I kind of felt bad. She had a little Miss America thing going on, but it was good to see her back. Actor in a supporting role: Tom Hanks, Anthony Hopkins, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and Brad Pitt wins for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
He was great. I thought he was better than DiCaprio in that movie. But I don't know. I think Mr. Rogers was also very good.
That movie did not get enough love. Tom Hanks played Mr. Rogers in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
No, that's not what it's called, is it?
It's called A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Oh, you kept calling it something wrong, so now I'm confused. You kept calling it, Won't You Be My Neighbor?
So, that's because 2 years ago, there was a documentary, Won't You Be My Neighbor. So then I think people are getting confused, and they thought this is just going to be like a fictionalized version of that. But it's like its own story. It was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
But back to Brad Pitt. They did something kind of sneaky. I think he's like one of the lead roles of Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, like Joe Pesci, he's definitely a supporting. Brad Pitt, he's basically like a second lead.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like that about Tom Hanks too.
Tom Hanks, he's not on screen that much. Compared to the guy.
I guess.
I would like someone make an article that I can read that has all the screen time of all the actors. I know I've seen it. They've done it before when, because they pulled this with some other movie where they kind of, I don't know. And they put all the screen times on there so you can see. Alright, on to actress in a supporting role. Kathy Bates and Richard Jewell, Laura Dern, Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit.
Why are you saying it like that?
Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit. Is that better? Florence Pugh, Little Women, Margot Robbie, Bombshell. Laura Dern wins. She's like this kind of cheerful and mean lawyer. And she's great.
Yeah, she did do really well, and I think she deserves it. However, Scarlett Johansson was amazing in Jojo Rabbit. I would have probably given it to her, personally. I don't know. I liked her better in Jojo Rabbit than in Marriage Story. Truly. But she was good in both. She was good in both.
Yeah, and they say if you get nominated for both, then you have to win one. It didn't happen this time for Scarlett, but if you get nominated for 2 Oscars, you're having a pretty good year at the movies. So, good job, Scarlett Johansson. And good job, Laura Dern. Animated feature film. Toy Story 4 beats out the other 4. Did you watch any of these? You watched Toy Story, right?
What were the other ones? I forgot.
Missing Link, Klaus, I Lost My Body, and How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World.
I've only seen Toy Story.
And how did you see Toy Story?
Oh.
Did you take some children?
Nope. I went by myself, and it was during summer break, so I probably went at 9:30 in the morning or something, and it was me and one probably 40-year-old dude sitting a row apart, and he just thought this was the funniest movie ever. He was cracking up the entire time, which caused me to laugh a lot. I thought it was a good movie, but I didn't think it was that good. I personally liked Frozen 2 a lot better than Toy Story 4. That might be an unpopular opinion, but...
Into the Unknown.
Yes,
that
exactly. I liked that better, and I think it deserved a nomination, but whatever.
Whatever. They saved it for song.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Frozen song, the Oscars, they played all 5 of the best sons. They had performances,
do that, right?
But the Frozen 2 one was really cool. They had 11 different Elsas from the different languages, and they had them all on stage. And then Idina Menzel was kind of like,
lead.
All right, ladies, this is kind of my deal, but you can ride my coattails.
It was cool.
It was.
Really cool. That is one thing I love about Disney, is that they'll remake even the songs in other languages. So, as a teacher, I like to show animated movies in Spanish because a lot of times the kids are familiar with the story and then they can relate the language to what they already know. But a lot of other, I don't know what you call it.
Animated movies?
Well, I was going to say studios or something.
Oh, yeah.
Will not change the songs because sometimes they're not an original song, they're just a popular song and the version doesn't exist in another language, you know.
So if you watch El Shrek in Spanish?
No, those wouldn't be translated.
Smash Mouth in Spanish?
When I watch Book of Life with my students, a lot of those songs aren't translated. Some of them are, but some of them are not.
I thought Book of Life was supposed to be all about
I think that's DreamWorks.
Mexican culture.
But it's made here, so
in English, okay.
Yeah. The story and the characters speak in Spanish, but the songs don't translate. But the nice thing about Disney is that they always do. So it's really cool to hear the different versions of songs, and knowing Spanish well, it's interesting to see how they translate things and see, Let It Go is Libre Soy, which means, I am free, which isn't the exact same thing, but the message is kind of the same, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, tangent.
That's what the people are here for, to hear your thoughts. Yeah. Go Toy Story 4. Maybe I'll watch you, but probably not. Cinematography is next. We had... You don't like cinematography?
It's fine.
Whoa. Okay, this is, as they said, the people that feed all the cast and crew behind the... That was the little shtick they were doing. They kept saying cinematographers did everything but cinematography. They're the guys that are behind the camera making things look good and lighting it. So we have The Irishman, Joker, Lighthouse, the only nomination for Lighthouse, so maybe we can talk about that a little bit.
How about we say how terrible it was? Hated.
Only one of us thinks the
hated that
Lighthouse
movie.
was terrible. I thought the Lighthouse was delightful and strange and weird. It's in black and white. It's Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. Tons of tension. They're stuck on a lighthouse and they're talking all weird. And Willem Dafoe, I should have said this in the supporting actor part. Willem Dafoe should have won Best Supporting Actor over Brad Pitt, and he wasn't even nominated.
Even over Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
No.
He's like, "Hark! Let Neptune strike ye down, Robert Pattinson, because you don't like my hark." And he goes on this 10-minute long monologue. It's really 1 minute long, but it's awesome. I think he was amazing. But I guess a lot of people maybe don't like The Lighthouse. I loved it. 1917 wins it. Roger Deakins. He's been nominated 16 times, and I think this is his second win, so good for him. Costume design, we had...
Is that because of the, single shot thing? Is that, what he did?
Yeah, I think that helped, right? So that takes a lot of work to do all that, and then all the lighting. So because you're doing the single shot, it's not like you can have a bunch of stage lights on a stage. And so I think especially those night scenes, they had a lot of night scenes where they literally lit the movie with flares, and it's pitch black, and then it becomes blinding daylight, and he's running through this burning city. It looks really cool.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Anyway.
On to costume design. The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And Little Women won. It was the period piece.
It was deserving.
Yeah, all their costumes looked good. Directing, The Irishman, Joker. Well, I guess I should say the director name. Martin Scorsese for The Irishman. Todd Phillips for Joker. He is, did you know this, the director of the Hangover trilogy?
For Joker?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Sam Mendes for 1917. Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. Yeah, and Bong Joon-ho won, and it was at that moment we're holy shit, it's probably going to win Best Picture now. And he's been killing it. He goes up there and he mostly speaks in Korean, and then he'll say
with an interpreter.
Yeah. But then he'll say one thing in English, and it's always great. He'll be like, "I'm going drinking."
Yeah. Was that when he was just in awe of his Oscar, or was that earlier?
I don't know, because he won 4. I think the first one he was just staring at it whoa.
It was so cute.
And when he won this one, he was I didn't expect to be up here again after he won international film. He just was I didn't think.
My theory on that is if a movie is nominated for Best Foreign Film or International Film or whatever they're calling it now, and then is nominated for Best Picture, and it's the only international film that's nominated for Best Picture, doesn't it have to win international film?
I think you're right.
Right? You can't say it's the Best Picture, but then a different film beats it. That just doesn't make sense.
And that happened with Roma, too. It was nominated for Best Picture. It won International Picture. No contest.
Sorry. Anyway.
I wonder if one day they'll do, they say, we want to give international to another film because... But
then maybe you just don't put it in that category. Maybe if it's nominated for Best Picture, it's not in that category.
But then you'd have Roma, which won an Oscar for international, which didn't win Best Picture. It didn't win any awards. So you're going to punish it because it was too good? There's two different schools of thoughts.
Yeah, I'm fine with it being in both categories, but I just think
it's going to win for sure.
If it be in the international film category, then it has to have a fair chance of winning too, right?
Yeah, you're right. You weren't like that redneck that was online.
Oh my gosh.
You watched this video of a redneck guy who's like, they should have nominated Joker for Best Picture. It's not fair. Parasite was in International, so it shouldn't be in Best Picture.
You should stop the voice.
That's what he sounded like.
Okay, but...
Okay. Let's go to the next award. Documentary feature. The winner was American Factory, which means the Obamas now have an Oscar, kind of. Or they helped produce it. We didn't watch those. Documentary short subject was how to skate or learning to skateboard in a war zone. So that was cool. Film editing was Ford v Ferrari. I didn't pick that. I thought Parasite.
I don't know. A lot of those awards like that I don't have a strong opinion on because I just don't know.
Yeah. Same. International feature, that was Parasite. We kind of figured that was going to happen. Makeup and hairstyling, we had a race between Bombshell, Joker, Judy, Maleficent, which everyone was like, what? That came out this year? What?
Actually, I did know that because my mom went to go see it with her friends. And she hadn't seen the first one, but she said she liked it.
Good.
I don't think she saw the first one.
And 1917, Bombshell won.
Bombshell.
Because they had, got to do all of the ladies' hair, and then they got to turn John Lithgow into the fat prick. What's his name?
Yeah, I don't like this. Sorry, I need to...
We're getting sprayed on the highway. So that one won, and it was disturbing. Original score, we had Joker, Hildur, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Little Women, Alexandra Desplat, Marriage Story, Randy Newman, 1917, Thomas Newman, Winkler Brothers, and Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, John Williams, getting his, I think it was 64th nomination. Hildur won for Joker, so congratulations.
Congratulations.
Well, everyone was saying that she's probably going to win, and she did.
Awesome.
Original song, we had a song from Toy Story, I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away. Rocketman, I'm Gonna Love Me Again.
Which, the performance was good because it was, him. However, the actor wasn't there to sing with him, which was half of the song.
Yeah, it's literally a duet between Elton John and Taron Egerton, who plays him in the movie. And it just turned a duet into one-man song.
Right.
And I thought that was a really cute idea to have them do a duet. But I think Egerton, he had just done it with him at the BAFTAs or something, and he didn't get nominated at all. So I think they're like, we're not going to make you come out to the Oscars where they just snubbed you and make you do all this. Then it was I'm Standing With Something. That was the lady Chrissy Metz for Breakthrough. Seems like every year there's some Christian movie no one watches that gets a song nominated. Into the Unknown.
Frozen.
And Stand Up from Harriet.
I don't even remember that song, honestly, from the movie. I liked the movie.
Yeah, I did too. Although, you know what was really funny? I saw the trailer again.
For Harriet?
Yeah. And there's a couple scenes in the movie where there's a gun fired or a gun gets cocked. But it's not a violent action movie. But I think the trailer plays every single... Oh, yeah. It looks like it's going to be Django 2 or something.
Really?
And Harriet has what it takes, But it's not really about that.
I don't remember that. But it makes more sense that you would notice it after the fact.
After we saw it. That doesn't line up. Yeah, so I'm Gonna Love Me Again one. Good job, Elton John. Production design, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Once Upon a Time won, because they literally remade
old Hollywood.
Yeah, miles of it.
It was super cool.
And I think the Academy loves that stuff. They love old Hollywood. They eat it up. Parasite, I wasn't a favorite to win, but people were saying it should win just for that house alone that they had. They had this really, really cool modern house, and it got a spread in, like, architectural magazines and stuff. In 1917, I could have seen it because they dug miles and miles of trenches for that, which is cool. Short film animated, it was Hair Love, which I saw on the CBS Morning Show.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to see it, but
it was cute.
It looks like it would be cute. It made me think of my dad braiding my hair every night before bed because my mom worked second shift. She taught him how to braid my hair because with all my curls it would get super snarly if I didn't put it in a braid before bed.
Aw. Yeah, you'd probably like it. We'll have to watch it. Short film live action, we had Brotherhood. We actually saw these, and they were really good this year.
They were. I don't know if we talked about them last year, but my God.
Last year?
Terrible.
It was like traumatizing. People left.
I was afraid to go back.
They were like one okay short film and 4 where terrible things happened to children. It was awful.
Yes, most of them died.
This year was much happier. We had Brotherhood from Tunisia, I think.
I think there were 2 from Tunisia, weren't there?
Nefta Football Club, I think, might have been Tunisia as well.
That one was funny.
Yeah. The Neighbor's Window, which that one won. That was an English language one.
It was really touching.
I always pick an English language one to win because I think that's what usually happens. Soria, which was really quite sad.
Which one was that one again?
The Guatemalan orphan camps.
That was really sad.
So, yeah. And A Sister. That's the lady in the car who's on a bad date gone wrong. Yes.
Okay.
So they were all really good this year. My favorite was probably Brotherhood and Football Club. I don't know. They're all good. They're short. Go watch them.
Yeah. Definitely worth watching.
Sound editing, I was pretty mad. I went 19 for 25 on the picks this year, and I had sound editing and sound mixing flipped. So I was so close to going 21, but whatever. Ford v Ferrari won it. I don't really know what goes into sound editing and sound mixing. And 1917 won mixing. And interesting note, sound mixing had a nomination for Ad Astra.
Yeah.
So that was
a decent movie.
It was a really strange movie.
Yeah.
It's like a movie about like feelings and like
space.
Emotional stuff and father issues with like 2 or 3 of like the coolest action scenes you've seen all year. So it's like they almost don't fit into the movie at all, but they're so cool that it's really...
Okay.
Yeah. They could have just made an action movie, but they were interested in something else, and this is very good, I think.
Sorry to interrupt you, my dear, but I don't know where I'm going.
Okay. Alright.
346 minutes later.
Alright, we made it to Beloit and back, and now it's time to finish up our Oscar thoughts. So, we just did sound mixing, visual effects. That was Avengers Endgame. I think because like maybe they made Thanos.
Yeah.
And Hulk.
Probably.
The Irishman, The Lion King, 1917, and Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I was thinking Skywalker and Star Wars. Star Wars. The Rise of Skywalker. 1917 one, which is cool because they had a lot of like practical effects, and I'm sure they had editing and stuff to make it look like one take and stuff.
Yeah. I have to say, for about half a second, I was very impressed that you remembered that, and then I noticed that there was a little symbol on the picture.
Yeah. Lion King, they didn't get it. It's interesting. I think Lion King thought It was going to get nominated for a lot of awards, like Best Song for Beyonce and Best Animated Movie, and I think it just got visual effects.
Yeah.
Did Pumbaa fart in the movie? Did they animate that really well visually?
I don't remember.
His friends didn't cry when they stood downwind or whatever. The Irishman had lots of visual effects, and I thought they looked bad.
Yeah, you did. I guess I didn't feel strongly one way or the other.
I just didn't know how old anyone was supposed to be.
That's really true.
It's like they looked 50 when they were supposed to be 30, and yeah, I don't know. But they spent a lot of money on it, so they got a nomination. Writing adapted screenplay: The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and The Two Popes.
So adapted just means that it's based on something.
Yeah, based on a previous work. So like It could be like a book, a New York Times article. It could be based on a play. I think The Two Popes was a play before.
What was The Irishman?
The Irishman was a book called I Paint Houses, which is the supposedly true memoir of the real Frank Sheeran. But there's controversy on whether or not his accounts of things are actually true, because someone interviewed him, made a book, and he died. So we don't know if it's true or not.
And what about Jojo Rabbit?
Jojo Rabbit is based off of a book, but in all the interviews, Taika Waititi says, it's based off a book of how I thought the book was when my mom described it to me over the phone, and not the actual book. And it's like, I don't know if he's like making his movie to be like better than the book, or if he doesn't want to give the book a lot of credit. So he's saying, oh, it's my mom described a book to me. I don't know. But it's based off a book. I haven't read it.
That's fine. It was a good movie.
Joker, based off of the comic book TV show. Little Women, the book, and The Two Popes, I think, was a play. Two Popes, I actually liked.
You watched it without me. I was a little upset.
Yeah, I like all those Pope stuff. I like the young Pope. I like Two Popes. If they make a Three Popes, I'll like it too. Now he kind of did he used editing and footage and stuff to make it a little more interesting. Kind of reminded me a little bit of The Big Short, but not like a way dialed down version of that.
So anyway, which one won, Paul?
Oh, I forgot. Jojo Rabbit, which I was really happy for because it was a really good movie.
I'd say that was my second favorite of the Best Pictures. I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't rank them ever.
I think I
could do that
did.
at the end.
I think I did rank them, and I put it 2 or 3.
I could do that.
I might have put Marriage Story ahead. But yeah, this was kind of Jojo Rabbit's shining moment since it didn't get anything else. Win.
Yeah.
We'll see what Taika Waititi has in store for us next.
Has he done other things?
Yeah, he kind of got famous for What We Do in the Shadows, which was a mockumentary about vampires that live together in a vampire house.
Oh.
It's kind of a comedy.
Okay.
Then there was the follow-up Hunt for the Wilder People, which is werewolves. And then a lot of people know him from a very small indie film called Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And so
I remember you said that.
In that movie, he plays Korg, the guy who's like, oh, I hate Steve. Oh, do you want to join my revolution? He's the kind of funny alien guy. And in this movie, he plays Hitler.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He actually had to be Hitler in the movie. It's a really goofy Hitler, though. It's a funny Hitler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's about as heartwarming as a Hitler Youth movie can be, I think. Writing original screenplay, we had Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Parasite won because it was the best movie, I think most people thought. But
yeah, Knives Out was surprisingly good.
Knives Out was probably one of my favorite movies of the year, out of nowhere. Like, I didn't really know much about it at all, and it
I really
rocked.
wanted to see it, and I persuaded you guys to go. It was you and me and your dad and my mom. It was a interesting group, but it was really fun.
Yeah,
I think
3 out of 4
liked it.
a
My
lot.
mom was not a fan, but I think it was a really great movie.
Yeah, it's like a whodunit kind of mystery novel in a
And
movie
it
form.
inspired a very popular sweater that I tried to buy for Paul for Christmas.
Yeah, she got me like the sweater he wears in, I think, most of the movie.
Yeah.
And
Paul
I do
really
like
liked
the
it.
sweater.
He talked about the sweater for about a month after we saw the movie.
I'm not the only one. You can look. There's like multiple articles.
You start typing Knives Out and it'll say Knives Out sweater.
Yeah, it's a really good cable knit sweater. I like mine. Yeah, that one, if it was nominated, I would have no problem with it. And even all like the little side characters, they're all great and they're all horrible in their own little way.
Mm-hmm.
It's excellent.
Yeah, it was a good cast. I was a fan.
Marriage Story I thought was great too. That had to have been hard to write all that dialogue and all those little scenes and make such a touching movie out of it.
Definitely.
And 1917, I feel like the story might have been the weakest part of that movie.
Yeah.
It's more about like the experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Once Upon a Time, good.
Yeah. Any other movies that you felt like didn't get recognized in the Oscars? Knives Out barely got recognized. Lighthouse.
Was that the last category?
Yeah. That was the last category. Uncut Gems we saw, and that kind of got snubbed for everything.
I didn't think it was that good, honestly.
You didn't like Adam Sandler? This is how I win. No, that's terrible Adam Sandler voice. I should have practiced that one.
Yeah, that was bad. You want to try again?
I think I should leave it at that. No, that movie I thought was great. It was so stressful. I haven't done this, but I think I'm gonna make my own awards, and that'll win for best stunt casting. Because they had Idina Menzel, they had Kevin Garnett, they had The Weeknd, they had like a fashion designer as his girlfriend. They have Tony Danza in there. They just had all sorts of people like that weren't like normal actors in there. I don't know. I thought it was stressful as hell and enjoyable, but some people didn't like it.
Yeah.
I think the Academy doesn't want to recognize people that aren't normally actors, so like, sorry Adam, but we need to give Leo his 18th nomination. I don't know. Any other movies that we saw?
Not that I can think of. There were a couple that I wanted to see that I didn't see yet.
Yeah.
What is the one with Michael B. Jordan?
For Justice? Or...
Something about Justice.
Yeah.
I also wanted to see Dark Waters.
Oh, yeah.
I heard wasn't very good, but I wanted to see it anyway.
I kind of think maybe like they like swept it under the rug. You know, the whole movie is like about a giant chemical company that is still operating. I think maybe they were like, but let's keep that one. Let's sweep that under the rug.
Yeah.
We don't want to have all our dirty laundry getting talked about. Just Mercy, that was the Michael B. Jordan one.
That's the one. Yeah, I want to see that. There was another one with the Randall from This Is Us.
Waves.
Yeah.
That one I really want to see too.
But when did that come out, or did it come out yet?
I don't know if it ever came to our city, which is a problem.
Weird. We usually get most movies.
Yeah, but I don't think it got a huge release. Waves, and then Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Paul's dying to see that movie.
Come out. I swear there was like trailers for that in like October, because the film was finished a long time ago and we just didn't get it. Yeah. And then we didn't see Pain and Glory. I want to see that. Came to the cheap theater and we didn't get to see it.
And what is it, Richard Jewell?
Yeah.
I want to see that one.
Okay. That's the Clint Eastwood movie about the terrorist security guard or security guard that wasn't a terrorist.
I want to see that one.
Yeah. Well, overall, I think it was a pretty good Oscars. You know, it was fun to see Parasite win, and
I agree. Although, now I'm looking at these best pictures, and I said, oh, I could rank them at the end, but I don't know that I can. I think I know which one is last, and I know which one is first, but I liked all of the other ones a lot.
I think I did Parasite, Marriage Story, JoJo, or maybe JoJo Marriage. I don't know. Those were my top 3, and then I had Irishman at the bottom. And the rest, I'm not sure what order I put them in.
Yeah.
I think
it's such a variety.
I think it was a good year this year.
I think so too.
Yeah, there's a lot of good movies, and there were some good movies that didn't make it. We talked about it a little bit, but the Mr. Rogers one, I felt like could have been in there.
Yeah.
And then what was it, the Playmobil movie?
Oh, damn, we forgot about that one.
Yeah. Well, cool. Any final thoughts?
I don't think so. I'm really happy for Parasite and all of the people that made that, and hopefully that'll give us an opportunity to see more international films. You know, people won't be so thrown off by subtitles, maybe, after this.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping, like, it made money in America, so maybe they'll just be like, oh, we can put Portrait of a Woman on Fire on a couple screens because Parasite did well. Maybe this will do well.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you see so Bong Joon-ho, the director, has an interpreter for like the speeches and stuff. She is going to make her own movie about being an interpreter.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think that'll be fun.
Good for her.
Cool. Well, everyone, good luck surviving February.
The movie drought. Although usually that starts in March because usually the Oscars are not till the end of February.
Yeah, that's true.
Or the beginning of March.
We had a really
even.
early Oscars this year. Yeah. Early Oscars, early Easter.
It's not early Easter.
Really?
No, Easter's not till April 10th, Paul.
Oh, sorry. Early Oscars, at least.
He's just not understanding that Ash Wednesday is this week. He's like, it seems too early, but it's really not.
Yep. And so, good luck surviving till we get summer blockbusters, and good luck surviving through Fast and the Furious 9, and then we'll get back to Oscar season. Yeah, John Cena is going to be Dominic Toretto's brother.
Oh, boy.
It's 10 movies in, and we forgot. You had a brother we never talked about.
Jeez.
I kind of love those movies, but they are kind of silly.
I really did not see any of them except for the one with the It's Been a Long Day. That movie.
Yeah, what was that?
Where because Paul Walker died.
Is that Fast and Furious 7?
7, I think.
Yeah.
And even though I had never watched the movies, I still cried like a baby.
I think everyone in the theater was crying. And then they should have just ended the series, but there was too much money to be printed. Alrighty. Well, goodbye, everybody.
See ya.